Disneyland Limited, now loading for a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom, through the Grand Canyon and Primeval World. Stop at Frontierland, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland.
Please remain seated. Keep your hands on your feet and legs inside the
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Your attention, please. Disneyland Limited, now arriving from a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. Passengers will stand by. Your attention, please. Disneyland Limited, now loading for a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom, the Grand Canyon and Primeval World. Stop at Frontierland, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland.
Alright folks, please remain seated at all times. We're hands on seat and we're going to end our journey at Town Depot. If you're still with us when we get there, okay, everyone will have to get off. We do have two other trains traveling around the park. They'll continue their journeys in the full circle.
Our first stop is Northern Square Station, but to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here.
You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be...
Alright folks, please remain seated. The train comes to a point of complete stop. This is New Orleans Square Station. This comes your stop for Splash Mountain. Many adventures for the Poodle, the Haunted Mansion, picks up the Mountain Railroad, Indiana Jones Adventure, we'll take the Chimney Cruise, we'll do the Tiki Room,
and then it will have to stop for the most part. So if you're staying on with us, folks, everyone will be getting off the train at the next stop. Go and remain seated, folks, and we'll be on our way to this train's final destination. Don't worry, folks, we do have two more trains if you want to continue going all the way around. Thank you.
Inside the train at all times and supervise small children by placing them away from that large train opening or on your lap at this time. Next stop and final stop, Mickey's Toontown Depot, your gateway to Fantasyland.
dinos, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laughing Place. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, past Outpost of these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that the mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Alright folks, please remain seated so the train comes to a full complete stop. Once again folks, this is the last stop for this train. Everybody will have to disembark at this station. There are two other trains going around. If you want to continue your journey, just wait for the next train.
right now, folks. Please check back later.
Mommy, Daddy!
Oh, they all go to the same place. Like Costco gets it from the same place. Yeah, they get it from Niagara Water. It's here. Oh my gosh. I'm just here.
It said 5 minutes, like 10 minutes ago.
They're like 20.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Free train of the Whistle. We are full steam ahead on our way to the first stop on our Grand Circle Tour, Tomorrowland Square. Please remain seated at all times. Keep your hands on deck and feet inside the train. And supervise small children. If their feet don't quite touch the floor, please see them away from the end of the benches in the large train openings. Next stop, Disneyland Square Station.
We'll be stopping at Orlando Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the Tiny World.
I want to go on that one. What one?
I can't go on this side.
Ay, viene, vamos a ir a
Please remain seated. Fully seated.
Make sure small ones are away from vehicle openings on adult side. Our next destination will be New Orleans Square.
For returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You don't really know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead of the New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Disneyland. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment.
Welcome to New Orleans Square, your stop for Disneyland, Frontierland, Critter Country, home to Haunted Mansion, King Cruise, Black Mountain, Indiana Jones, Jungle Cruise, Thunder Mountain, and more. Please stay seated so you go to the complete stop and drive safe.
Where the crowds are celebrating a zippity-doo-dah day. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings and step carefully from the train.
Mickey's Toontown Depot. This is your gateway to all things Fantasyland. Home to the small world, Battlehorn bobsled, and more. And please stay seated so we come to a full stop inside the station.
When he wakes up in his house. Okay.
A couple more minutes. If you do not wish to wait, go ahead and let us know. You can just jump off the train. We'll let you out. Up ahead, it seems that one of our Dinosaur Friend cast members decided to remove himself from his engagement and is now running amok throughout the park. So, as soon as we catch him and negotiate with him, we'll put him back where he goes. Thank you so much. We appreciate your patience. Something about he was hangry. On the train. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your patience. Someone was able to grab him. The Triceratops, that was. Now we're just waiting for our green light, and we'll be on our way. Thank you.
Please stay seated. Keep arms, legs, hands, feet inside the train at all times. For unsupervised children, make sure small ones are away from vehicle openings on adult flat for their safety. Again, need all children to be seated at this time.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland.
Truly, we appreciate everybody's patience on the train. Really, thank you.
Below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain. Forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
On Tomorrowland, your stop for Star Tours, Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear, the monorail, and more. Please stay seated as we come to a full stop inside the station. Keep your seat on, make sure to slide in and make room for others. On our way to vehicle openings, they're on adult flat for their safety. Our next destination will be Main Street, USA. On our way to Main Street, we're going to the Grand Canyon and Primeval World. Well in the dark tunnel up ahead. For the safety and courtesy of everyone on board, make sure to turn the flash off on your cameras, lighting equipment, light up toys and ears as well. Thank you.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
Was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs. Returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
Welcome back to Main Street, folks. As a reminder, there are ramps to the station and stairs at the bottom. So if you go to the chairs, please wait to get to the bottom of the staircase before opening them. Again, please stay seated until we come to the complete stop inside the station here at Main Street, USA.
Folks, at this time, please remain seated at all times. Parents, please supervise your children and keep them away from that train opening. Next stop, Norman Square.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Adventureland. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station, New Orleans Square.
Does she know that? Well,
Alright folks, please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is New Orleans Square Station, your stop for Adventureland, Excursion, Critter Country, and of course, New Orleans Square.
ready for us? Okay. Yeah, I know. She's very angry, she's me.
Alright folks, at this time, please remain seated at all times. Hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Parents, please supervise your children and keep them away from the train opening. Make sure they remain seated at all times as well. Next stop, Toontown Depot.
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laughing Place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are celebrating a zippity-doo-dah day. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of pier, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, a cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Folks, please remain seated until the train comes to a point.
Cuide a los pequeños. Gracias. As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
Alright folks, please remain seated at all times, so the hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Parents, please supervise your children and keep them away from that train opening. Make sure you keep your children seated at all times on their seat or on your lap.
To a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland.
Hold on, where are they getting off?
We need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead of the
Welcome to many adventures of Winnie the Pooh and the Haunted Mansion. Unfortunately, Pirates is closed. All of our pirate friends went out to the high seas in search of treasure, rum, and fast passes. We did get a message. Once again, friends, remain seated. We're on our way. We appreciate your patience.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laughing Place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are celebrating a zippity-doo-dah day. place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun.
And we are coming into Mickey Toontown train. We love our two-stop port, Mickey Toontown and Fantasyland is offering. As a reminder, Mickey Toontown does close early tonight about 8 p.m. and it will not open again until tomorrow morning. That's just to prepare for that 9:30 fireworks show. Have everyone sitting down, please, especially children, please. 9:30 fireworks show is now with the weather permitting. We all can enjoy it. Thank you. On your left, on the center of the bench, but away from any of the train openings, please. Once again, if feet do not touch the floor, they cannot sit in the opening. Must be behind the bench on your left. Our next.
We're now steaming into the blasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astro blasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun.
Make sure all children are sitting down, please, on your lap or on the bench.
We'll be on our way
Thank you.
in just a minute.
And see, we're coming into tomorrow in a few hours. Okay, second to the last one, I promise. Tomorrowland station is here, and always remain seated till the train makes a full stop completely inside. If you're leaving us here, we'll let you enjoy tomorrow. Today. Okay, that was the last one. Or today. Everybody stop. Good afternoon to one and all, and welcome aboard. Please remember to remain seated at all times with your hands, arms, legs, feet inside the train.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time. We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings.
Woo, I'm glad most of us made it out of there. Well, we're on our way to Main Street Station. That is your stop if you're going to leave us join downtown Disney or Disney California Adventure Park. Doors down Main Street visit shopping, dining, coffee, snacks, ice cream, catching great moments with the show Lincoln at the Opera House, or just bring it if you try some Pixar Fest churros. Lemon favorite, with I thought you had sound like you again. Lemon favorite with primary color cereal, crushed and baked right into the crystallized sugar. Delicious. Either way you do, on behalf of the fireman, engineer, front conductor, and yours truly, we thank you for choosing to roll around the park with us. Remain seated. We're almost there. Remain seated to the train makes a full stop and completely inside the station.
Your attention, last call for the Disneyland.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand stroll tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at Ward Kimball, Mickey's Town, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the Primeval World, the age of the dinosaurs, before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our trip, remember that for a second,
Oh, your birthday's on the 20th.
Will stand by.
Next year?
We need an extra pole, and I'm gonna check with
Please make sure little ones are seated away from the train openings or further down the bench or on the lap of an adult. Our next stop will be New Orleans Square as we go through the wilds of Adventureland.
welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad.
Come on, little puppy. You gotta go rolling. Let's roll.
That was a serious, yeah.
safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet. Stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. past Hungry Bear Restaurant, last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with Rivers of America.
You're supposed to get on with me.
That's another skinny one.
As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the Rivers of America. Every parade features something really playful. Water! There's no better way for everyone to play along with us. So don't be surprised if you and your belongings get a little wet. It's all part of the playtime fun.
Thank you.
To those who just joined us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please, watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Uh-oh. Did you folks hear that? Sounds to me like we've reached the wilds of Adventureland, where you just might run into a lot of savage critters out there, including lions and tigers and tiki birds. Everybody best be on the lookout. You never know just what may show up. We're approaching our first stop, New Orleans Square Station. This station serves Frontierland, New Orleans Square, and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated till the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step while getting off. Have a good time in the Frontier, you hear? For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square. To those who just joined us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please, watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, where every day is a zippity-doo-dah day. If you look real hard, you might just find your laughing place. We're now passing over Critter Country, where Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear make their homes and embark on fun-filled adventures. Although this land was made for critters, human-type folks are always invited to stop in to visit a spell. We're traveling along the rivers of America and into the American frontier as it looked more than a century ago. This area is so rich with natural beauty and wildlife, you can see why the early settlers were inspired to move west. You're seeing this view just like many of them did, from the comfort of a genuine steam-powered train. When these iron horses first started crisscrossing the country in the 1800s, the time it took folks to reach the West dropped from months to a matter of days. Why, steam power not only fueled trains, but the dreams of a whole new generation as they settled this great frontier. Say, have you ever wondered what it would be like to visit the cartoon town where Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy live?